Mastering the Commute, your 6-minute traffic fix. Episode 46, my Thanksgiving special. From bedroom broadcasts to the big leagues.
Traffic and more traffic in 6 minutes. Randy, here's Randy Keith.
Welcome to Mastering the Commute. I'm Randy Keith, and every week we talk about driving smarter, calmer, and safer. But today on Thanksgiving, I want to share the whole story. Starting from age 4, when I first pressed record, because this journey began long before I ever saw a freeway from 1,000 feet up. My love affair with radio started when I was just 2 years old learning the piano. But by 4, I had discovered something magical, a cassette recorder. I would sit at the piano, playing and singing, but then I'd do something that felt completely natural. I'd talk about what I just played. These weren't just random recordings. In my mind, I was already a radio DJ. I was backselling my own piano performances, just like I heard on the radio.
Okay, that was the Prelude in F major by Bach.
As I got older and learned how to dub cassettes, things got more sophisticated. I started recording actual radio stations and then dubbing my own voice over them, creating what I called KRAK 98.5 FM.
Now let's KRAK 98.5.
Listeners and viewers of KRDS TV, Santa Clarita. It's 20.
Looking back, I was essentially doing what every kid does when they play house or pretend to be a teacher, except I was playing radio station. And somehow, I never stopped.
97.3 stereo, 97 FM. Good afternoon, Santa Clarita. You're listening to Stereo 97 FM. We're playing the biggest variety of your favorite music.
When I turned 13, KRAK evolved into something bigger, Stereo 97 FM. I wasn't content with just cassette tapes anymore. A ham radio friend of mine introduced me to a company called Ramsey Electronics, very unique at that time, and I could send away by mail order for a transmitter kit that I could build myself. By my high school freshman year, I was broadcasting to maybe a 1-mile radius around our house. My neighbors could pick me up if they turned to the right frequency, 97 FM. I had music. I had commercials I created. This wasn't just a hobby anymore. This was training. Every hour I spent behind that makeshift microphone was preparing me for something I didn't even know was coming.
Stay tuned.
Santa Clarita Valley's Earthquake and Information Station, 1220 KBET.
It's 5 minutes before 10 o'clock on KBET.
After the 1994 Northridge earthquake, everything changed. I got my first real job at KBET. Not as a DJ, but as a button pusher. I didn't care. I was finally in a real radio station. And I had mentors that first let me on the air by doing the weather report.
At 25 now past the hour. Randy Keith, weather please.
Thank you, DA. It'll be getting into the mid and upper 80s today with sunny skies, 15 mile per hour winds, and unhealthy air quality, UV index 7 out of 10. And tomorrow, continuing with the cooling trend, mid to upper 80s with unhealthy air again. Currently at the corner of Sierra Highway and Soledad Canyon Roads in Canyon Country, it is 85 degrees.
All right, thank you, Randy. KBET with the Wi-Fi.
Listen to that voice, still finding itself, but you can hear the foundation of what would become my traffic reporting style. Clear, concise, helpful. But the real breakthrough came with Teen Scene.
KBET.
AM 1220 KBET, that is us. We are Santa Clarita Valley's only radio station. It's 8:35, 25 minutes before the hour of 9 o'clock, and this is Teen Scene, the only radio show for teens from teens. Right now, it's time for some
high school sports.
Okay,
let's talk. Well, let's see. On Tuesday in boys baseball.
This is where I learned that radio isn't just about information. It's about connection. The people calling in and the guests I interviewed sharing their stories, they taught me that every voice on the other end of the microphone is a real person with real needs.
All you need to know. KNX 1070 News Radio. The time is 6:30 on this Friday, the 12th of November. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dave Zorn. You're tuned to KNX 1070, and these are the places where there's news.
November 12th, 1999. I will never forget that date. It was my first traffic report on KNX 1070.
Let's go to South Orange County. Here's Randy Keith.
Southbound side of the 5, Chris, gets very heavy at Alton Parkway as you make your way down to Lake Forest. That's because of an accident that we saw pushed out of lanes and off the freeway. The northbound side gets very heavy from Culver as you make your way into Anaheim. Chris?
Let's see how the ride is like.
Nervous? Absolutely. But listen to that. All those years of practice from KRAK to KBET had led to this moment. I was now reporting on one of the biggest news stations in the country. Over the next 9 years, from 1999 to 2008, I worked every day part you can imagine. morning drive.
Meanwhile, our Randy Keith is a little to the east.
Yeah, over the 60, the Pomona Freeway, saw an accident on the eastbound side, still clearing up.
Overnights and weekends.
KNX News Time, 6 minutes after 4 o'clock. Randy Keith is watching traffic for us this morning.
Yeah, good morning, Dave. Good morning, everybody. We'll begin in Orange County, where Caltrans...
Afternoon rush.
Traffic checks on KNX at 524 with Randy Keith.
In Corona on the 91 westbound connector to the North 15, a new accident there. Megan Reyes getting a look at the eastbound commute.
And of course, my favorite time, when I found myself up in the sky reporting from the airplane, sometimes the helicopter.
Go to Randy Keith over the 91 freeway.
Yeah, just found an accident here, Chris, east on the 91, just before Paramount Boulevard. Looks like the carpool lane is blocked.
Each phase taught me something different. The studio taught me precision. The helicopter taught me perspective. And through it all, I was learning that traffic reporting is really about helping people navigate not just roads, but life. Looking back from that 4-year-old at the piano to today's podcast, I'll be honest. At first, it was about the technology. I loved playing with radios, building transmitters, and being up in the air. But somewhere along the way, through all those hours in the studio and taking calls from KNX tipsters stuck in traffic, I learned what it's really about: connection. Whether I was backselling my own piano playing or helping someone avoid a jam on the 405, I was trying to be helpful, to be present, to be a voice that made someone's day a little bit better. And that's what makes this podcast so special to me. It's a synthesis of all my passions: my love of radio, my years in traffic reporting, my music background, my passion for teaching. This podcast isn't just one thing. It's everything I've ever cared about, all coming together. And honestly, it's the most valuable thing I've ever created. Every download, every share, every message reminds me why I fell in love with radio in the first place: the intimate connection. From that bedroom in LA with KRAK 98.5 to this microphone today, also in my bedroom, thank you for being part of the ride. If this episode brought back memories of your own childhood dreams, share it with someone who might need to hear that their passions matter, even the seemingly small ones. Is there any part of my story that you can relate to? Have you had multiple careers, unique interests like ham radio, or childhood dreams that led somewhere unexpected? I would absolutely love to hear about those. Please get in touch with me directly at freewaytrafficexpert@gmail.com. And if you want to hear more of those old recordings, KRAK 98.5, and the other radio stations I was on as well, I have the full archives from the 80s and 90s on my personal YouTube channel, at Randy's Archives. Follow me on social media at Mastering the Commute on Facebook and YouTube, where I post daily shorts and full video podcast episodes. And don't forget to check out our entire driving resource, where you can get your free ebook, Drive Smarter Now, at drivesmarternow.com. Keep dreaming, keep driving smart, and thank you for listening.